Man.
Put rims on everything, huh?
That's the cool bag.
Y'all put rims on anything.
Listen, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's a Florida thing, man. You feel what I'm saying? You know how we rep.
Yeah, man. We all, bro.
Yeah, so you know how we do. So, man, we live then. Let's talk about it right now. We're getting the tour from my big brother, Charles Reed. You know what I'm saying? Once we jump into this show, listen, people, for all the parents that don't understand the formula of how to get your kid into a college, you know what I'm saying, using the academic formula, I got the guy right now. He's on the tube with us, Coach Mike. You feel me? Coach Charles, he has plenty of experience. But before that, you know, we got to jump into this intro and pay these. It's ills. So we'll get to it, and then we'll get back through it.
If you ever feeling rejected, neglected, or even dyslexic, Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Wisdom, knowledge, and guidance, we all seeking to find them. Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Adversity a part of life, sometimes we fail before we get it right. Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No one is above the other. As brothers, we must uplift each other. Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
What's up? Welcome back. We are now tuning into Let's Talk About It. We got Coach Charles Reed in the building. Give me some Can we bust some shots, Johnson, over there with your new Bluetooth mobile headphone? Bro, you strong.
Oh, man. He ready, man.
My gun jammed again.
Oh, my
God. Man, could it be the new headphones?
And then you have the audacity to talk about somebody golf cart, bro. Really?
No, I was just talking about the rims. You know, I'm saying y'all put rims on anything, but I guess that is a Florida thing.
You can't even bust shot. Listen, so this guy that I Charles, it's funny. I met this guy playing flag football. Never knew that, he was a guy of intelligence as he is. He definitely, his resume speaks for itself. And the reason why I brought him on is because this is a show where we try to find people that can help the youth, help the parents, through the process of college, branding their kid. And this guy right here is, FSU, top 100 business alum grad, that's volumes, that speaks for itself, and he has so much stuff. But the biggest perk of all that I brought him on the show for is he has a son that is going to Brown University, and it's on, to play football, but it's not on a football scholarship. It's on an academic scholarship. So first of all, thank you, Coach, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. So one of the things is, we're going to jump into this after, you give us a brief, description of why, you took the route that you took instead of, just putting, because the topic is use sports, don't let sports use you. You know what I'm saying? What can sports do for, so what made you use your academics to get to where you needed to go instead of banking on your sports? So how did that start?
So what I think most people don't understand is that athletic scholarships are only 1-year deals. They're annual. If you go on an athletic scholarship, let's say your son's a great football player. He wants to go to Florida State. If he goes to Florida State, they're only putting him on a 1-year deal. What happens if he gets hurt? What happens if a new coaching staff comes in? But now if your son's on an academic scholarship, that's 4 years guaranteed. Even if he chooses not to play football another day in his life, they can't put him out of the school. The coaching staff could change. He will still have 4 years at that school. So I've been trying to educate parents on that route. A lot of people have been afraid of Division III, for example. They'll say Division III doesn't give athletic scholarships. Well, you almost don't want one. You want a guarantee that your child can go to a school for 4 years. And Division III, they're looking for good athletes. There's some great athletes playing Division III. There's some great athletes in Ivy League, but those routes aren't given athletic scholarships. So we have to put our kids in a position where they have options. And I continue to preach academics. You can be a great athlete, but if your academics are high, you are competing against a whole different group of people. And we're here in Florida. I'm in Tampa, Florida. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent. My son is a talented player. Well, you could probably name 10 better. But with his academics, now he's no longer competing against those 10 that you might name that you might say are better than him. His academics puts him in a different stratosphere against a different athlete. And out of that group of athletes, he's probably number one on the list. So I'm just trying to educate parents on a different way to look at recruiting, a different way to look at Division III, Ivy League, Division II. It doesn't have to be the Power 5 or bust, because in anything, they're finding people on the internet. If you got the talent to make it to the league, whatever league that you choose, it could be NBA, NFL, WNBA, whatever you choose, they'll find you. So we're just trying to create some avenues outside of just relying on that kid's talent.
Okay, so now let's start. You had a son, right now he's, what I'm saying, first of all, congratulations, what I'm saying, big ups.
Thank you.
What I'm saying, because as a father, I guarantee there's probably no better, what I'm saying, feeling than seeing him walk across that stage, but then putting on that cap and then, what I'm saying, in some of those schools where it makes sense to you and your family, I know that's huge. So, but 9th grade year, how did you start? How did you start? So let's go through the formula. 9th grade year, what did you start your son? How did you get your son ready to be able to, what I'm saying, have that academic, what I'm saying, platform to be able to go to Brown?
I started before 9th grade. I started in middle school.
Okay.
We're in an area where I was fortunate enough to put him into a private school that taught Latin to middle schoolers. So I moved him from the school he was in because I wanted him to learn Latin. Latin is the roots of all your words. So if you want to be strong in ACTs and SATs in a certain section, if you know Latin, you can score higher on those standardized tests. So
hold on real quick, Charles. Triple B, please bless some shots.
I was just about to say that, man.
Come on, man. Listen, man, that army tank. We need the pull out the UFO gun. Something right now, drop something. He just dropped a gem. Go ahead, Coach.
Big gem.
So I moved him in middle school to a school that would allow him to take Latin. He took Latin as an 8th grader. So I was preparing him before high school for this. By the time we got to high school, now he knew Latin, and Spanish. And so we continued on the Spanish route, but I also moved him into Latin too. Again, we're preparing these kids for the ACT and SAT. So then you have to find a challenging course schedule. Brown, for example, the Ivy League, if you haven't taken any AP courses, you're not going to be considered for the Ivy League.
All right.
So he took a few AP courses as 10th and 11th grade. So course schedule is important. Languages like Latin are important. ACT prep courses are important. The PSAT. most people don't take the PSAT seriously. I took the PSAT in high school. I scored high enough to become a National Merit finalist. I wrote an essay where I became a National Merit Scholar. So I had a full ride almost anywhere I wanted to go from the PSAT. And once I took the ACT, I think I only scored a 28. I mean, we have kids at Sefner Christian that are scoring in the 30s. They're scoring in the 30s and can't get into the Ivy League. So you have to start preparation before high school.
Right.
So now you have an opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, set your son up for, you know, once he graduates, pretty much we know, like any real individual knows, once he comes out of college with a Brown University degree, I don't care if it's in, you know what I'm saying, communications. He can go anywhere in the world and probably start off with, you know what I'm saying, a 6-figure job. Just because of, you know what I'm saying, the college that he went to. So, you know, let's compare apples to oranges. You're, you know, you've been an athlete your whole life, not a football player, but an athlete your whole life.
Yes, sir.
When did it come to you and you say, you know what, listen, okay, I'm an athlete, but this is not going to, you know what I'm saying, last forever. This is not going to put me where I need to be, you know what I'm saying, in the future. When did that change for you?
My freshman year at Florida State. I'm originally from Bessemer, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Bessemer, Alabama, most people know it for Bo Jackson, home of Bo Jackson, home of Jameis Winston. We have actually lots of kids from Bessemer that have made it to the NFL. When I got to Florida State, I thought I was a very good player coming out of Alabama. My freshman year, a few of our receivers, Peter Ward, Ron Dugans, Lavernius Coles, Snoop Menace, I saw a whole different level.
Okay.
Good night.
Was you there when Randy Moss was there too?
Randy was before me because, you know, he only stayed a very short time.
Right.
We would see him because he would come back and play basketball. Him and Peter Ward were good friends. But the talent level was crazy in our defense with Dexter Jackson, Corey Simon. The whole defense went to the NFL. Derek Gibson, you know, our Tate Cody. The defense was loaded. Offense was loaded. It was the heyday of Florida State.
Yeah.
And that let me know that I probably need to stick to engineering. So I pursued my degree is civil engineering from Florida State, and I got the master's from FAMU for civil engineering. And at that point, I said, when I become a coach and a parent, I'm going to teach kids options. The option was academics. Have that option available. Then you don't have to compete against the same kids I competed with at Florida State.
Exactly.
So I got lost in the shuffle because I was competing against, some of the best talent that they could find. Mm-hmm. But what if you went to a Brown University where they don't have 22 first rounders on their team?
Right.
So you go, academics got you in there, but now you go and you shine because you are an elite athlete. Now you're shining. Now you're the gem. See, I wasn't the gem at Florida State. They had lots of gems. I wasn't D1. So I was smart enough to know that, hey, engineering was the best route for me, but I want to teach kids that I'm not saying that you can't live your dream. I'm just saying, let's take a different route that might make you shine a little more.
Right. So Triple B, you have a son right now. You know.
Yeah. But anyways, let's address this real quick. I mean, he was talking about some of the Miami dark days. I'm a little bit depressed. Let me catch. I was a little bit depressed. You know what I'm saying? Those are our dark days. You know what I'm saying? That was dark days right there. Talking about all those players and stuff.
You're still in the dark days. Ain't like y'all winning nothing no more. We sorry. Y'all just sorry too. So
no, that was our dark days, man.
Hey, look, we got the bandwagon open if y'all want to come up to UGA. Y'all get on the bus. You can come on, get on the bus.
Hey, listen, the only reason why I want to get the UGA because I sell these English Bulldogs, you know what I'm saying? I know that's y'all mascot. That's about the only thing, you know.
No, we changing it. You didn't hear about it. We just changed it from English to Pit Bulls.
Oh no.
Next year we ain't got number Pit Bulls.
That's the only reason I like y'all because y'all colors and the English Bulldog. Don't like y'all no more.
But you know, I like UGA because it took a Florida State guy to turn that around when Mark Rich went there. When he left Florida State in the heyday, go to Georgia, he turned Georgia around. I'm just saying.
I totally agree with you, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
When you say that about Miami, can you say that about Miami? Now, Johnson.
Well, now look, Mark Rick came from Miami, so you know.
He wasn't the same. He wasn't the same. He was not the same guy. What you were talking about, and you know, with my son, it's very. I mean, I'm trying to. It's like shrink shoes, like Latin, for instance, like shrink shoes. You know how like you used to have shrink shoes back in the day when people worked their calf, and that was like the primary muscle that made you jump higher. Everybody else is just, you know, running and jumping. Somebody's using shrink shoes. Of course, that person's going to have an advantage. And with Latin, that's one of the big secrets. A lot of those guys, like those smart kids, you know, the AP kids get a really early head start. And Latin is a very important thing because what it does, it sets you up. It kind of trains the muscle to kind of learn things very quickly. For instance, when you learn the root words, I'll give you an example. I speak Creole, right? And you wouldn't believe it. I didn't even believe it either. A lot of the Creole words are based from French, but they sound a lot of Spanish words are the same word. Like, you know, work, we say travail. In Spanish, people say trabajo. You know, it's like all the like the letters or the numbers. One thing that I used to do with my son when he was little, I taught him how to count in 3 different languages. I taught him how to count in English, Spanish, and also Creole, right? And to 10. And to this day, he still does it. But what that did, it made he was able to pick up those languages. I mean, like letters, shapes, colors, all that stuff like that. Matter of fact, when he was in his daycare, there was like 4-year-old kids. They used him when he was like 2.5 or whatever. You know how like sometimes the daycares have to do like these little tests when they have the people come in there, the evaluators or inspectors and stuff like. They use him to as the example, and he passed it with flying colors. But because he had that part of his brain trained very early, and I think that's very important. And that's one of the keys. It's like when you're reading to him, like, you know, you read him a bedtime story, like the Cat in the Hat, all those type of things. Those are very strategic. Like a lot of people don't know that. You think it might just be a story. Nah, when you read the Cat in the Hat, it really does something to their brain. Like the green eggs and ham and all that type of stuff. That's the reason. One of the reasons a lot of people read those type of stories to their kids.
That's nice. I didn't know that. You just turned me on to something. So now when I have my kids, I read the green eggs and ham saying.
I mean, but the thing, no, it's rhyming. It's rhyming. Yeah. It's rhyming. And using these different words, rhyming, and that trains a part of the brain to make some of the kids learn faster. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you know how to rhyme as a kid, I guess you're more proficient with your vocabulary. So all those little tiny nuances that you think that are just very, you know, whatever. No, they do count, especially at an early age.
Yeah, I thought it was very impressive. I thought it was very impressive that Kobe Bryant knew, I believe, 7 different languages.
Right.
That's super impressive.
But when you have that root base, like that Latin root base, you can pick up on a lot of different languages because most of the root words are very similar. And the thing is like a lot of the dictionary and a lot of those words are based in Latin. So when somebody says a real high level word or whatever, if you really know Latin, you'll have an idea what that word is or what the meaning is because you know Latin. You know how to speak Latin.
If you don't know, like I know, go get on that Latin. Now, Coach Charles, right now, you have a very successful business. And you know, we sit up here and we say, you know, how did we? The topic is work the sport, don't let the sport work you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you work your sport? You know what I'm saying? And came out on top where right now you have a building that you run, a very successful engineering construction company, a whole bunch of investments that me and you got to talk about because you got to let me in on that because you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
tap, tap. So tell me, when did you know what I'm saying, understand that?
Well, with the academic-based scholarships, that gives you the power because at any point you can choose not to play. So now you've used that sport to get a free education. The school wanted your athletic ability, and you took a 4-year academic scholarship so you could stop playing and still get that degree. So you've used the sport. And so also, here's another way. Once I graduated, networking. Sports are a great way to network. Even parents in the stands, you can network with other parents, and you will be surprised at what some of those parents do for a living. And before you know it, you've connected. And if you make the right connections, then again, you've used the sport and not let the sport use you. So I don't even get upset with referees. I see a bigger picture. So because I see a bigger picture with sports, because we also got to talk. I have an older daughter playing basketball right now.
You just ain't gonna skip over this. I don't get mad at referees.
Don't get mad.
Why not? What's the meaning behind
that? Sports are a training ground. I'm training kids. I'm teaching life lessons through sports. So if I yell at the ref, what do you think the kids think is acceptable to do to that ref? Now, he's not just a ref, he's a person. He or she, they're a person, and they're probably older than the players that they're reffing. So we got to show respect to the refs so that the kids that are watching us will respect the ref and respect the elders in general. So I don't want to send the wrong message to the kids.
Triple believe, listen, man, you need to be out. You get fired after this show, bro. Like, you are fired. This man sat up here and put the parents on point and the coaches on point, because the number one thing that you will see, and this is what people don't understand, is that when you snap on the referee, the people that follow you, the people that look up to you, the people that respect you, they take on that same form, especially when they wear the same color you wear.
Mm-hmm.
You're yelling at the referee, ref, you suck. Guess what? Them people on the back of you, they go 2-2-2. But I'm going to tell you one of the things that'll make it real simple and easy. If you're the coach, you have to be the example. And I had one perfect example. 2019, we were down in Boca Raton. And when I tell you it was the worst place to play, we lost. Long story short, we got, I felt like we were cheated, but I didn't want to shake the kid. I didn't want to go shake their hand. My senior quarterback, shout out to K. Krishna, senior quarterback said, Coach, nah, we can't do that. And it was a learning moment for me at that point, because I preach sportsmanship. And even though we got our butt whooped and I didn't feel like we got it, we lost the way I felt we should have lost. Mm-hmm. I caught attitude, and it took a teenager that through all the years that he saw something in me or something in somebody else that he looked up to stop me and say, Coach, we don't do that this way. And it was like, okay, check, boom. And it pushed me on. And I get that now, and I understand. And I'm glad you brought clarity to that of why people shouldn't argue and, yell at ref, because they make mistakes too.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And it's a form of adversity.
I want to ask you this question right here. Mm-hmm. Like, I love everything you saying. Like, me and you, man, we can we can live together, okay? We can coach together, Like, I'm on your whole wavelength of thinking.
He really is.
So, but what I want to know is, how do we get kids and parents to start thinking that way? because I have a daughter right now. I have one daughter that's at Albany State. I have another one. She's getting ready to get off of the full ride at FAMU. With the USDA. How do we get kids to start thinking differently and taking different opportunities?
We got to start young. I've been at AAU tournaments. I've been coaching for 12 years, but I've been at AAU tournaments where third graders are under an immense amount of pressure. Third grade parents fighting in the stands. That kind of stuff can't happen. That means they don't understand the big picture of this. Maybe we all got to start coaching younger kids and not just want to coach the most talented kids in high school. That might help.
Over there with them bro, killing me, bro. You got your new headphones on.
I was on mute, man. I keep putting on mute.
Man, you gotta bust them shots, man. Come on, mute, bust the shots when this man dropping these gems, man. Because
you gotta go back to the old headphone, man.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna keep off of mute, man. But one thing I want to kind of touch on how you talking about using a tool for football and stuff like that. You know, even in the NFL, you can see the evidence of why it's great to keep a great network. You know, like I said, your network is your net worth. Mm-hmm. If you look at even the most powerful people in football, like right now, you know, you have Brian Dawkins. You know, Brian Dawkins is a Hall of Famer, but he's the president, I think, of the NFL Association. I mean, you know, Gene Upshaw was one of the most, you know, powerful people. But if they didn't have those strong networks, there's no way they could have got there. You know what I'm saying? If you look at some of even the heads of, you know, these organizations and stuff like that, a lot of times you don't even know who they were. You don't even know if they played football, the coaches, you know, you don't even know anything, but they kept a strong network and they use this right here. You know, something with this set them apart. Like those guys is like, why is Sam Acho able to get a job at a network and somebody else not? Mm-hmm. Why? I mean, it's very obvious. You know what I'm saying? Why, like, you know, certain people are in certain positions. It's because it's not what you do is who you know, who's in your network, who's in your circle, what level of education that you have. You know what I'm saying? Why is DeMaurice Smith like the president, or was it the leader of the NFL Association? I think he was, but, you know, because he's a lawyer, but, you know, he has that, was he an agent or something like that? He had that network of agents, a bunch of clients and stuff like. I mean, that was his network that got him there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great point that you made about networking. Networking is one of the most underscored things that people don't think about. You know,
and now that you're saying networking, and this is the funniest thing, and they call it 6 degrees of separation, and this is how funny this is.
I'm about to say that.
The guy, you know, one of our mutual friends, guy that turned me on to, you know, real estate, like literally sat down with me and gave me, you know what I'm saying, an opportunity to understand the game inside and out, is actually Charles's business partner. And I've been playing with Coach Charles. I've been playing against him for 10 years, you know what I'm saying, and been out there talking and chatting and kicking and, you know, but like you said, network. And I didn't understand that he was in the space that I wanted to get in. And we had not only one thing in common, we had 2 things in common, because I didn't, you know what I'm saying, realize that, you know, he was in the real estate business. I'm in the real estate business. We're already in the flag world. Then come to realize he's a coach, and he's very good at doing what coaches do, and what, you know, the things that I want to get from you and get to our audience is, you have a kid. We can't put your kid, you know what I'm saying, in this category, because, you know what I'm saying, you got a phenomenal kid, and he's been raised different. A kid, 9th grade right now, come to you. No father, but has a mother. She works all the time. Or a father, you know what I'm saying, that works all the time. That doesn't know this recruiting space, this, you know what I'm saying, branding space to get their child out there. You put over 100 and something kids in college. How do they do that?
So I would, for that particular kid, they're going to have to form a relationship with the guidance counselor at their school. If the guidance counselor, because I've heard some stories, some guidance counselors are great. And then some schools, maybe the school just is overcrowded and the guidance counselor is just totally overworked. But in a normal situation, if you could get a relationship with the guidance counselor, that would help your process, because the guidance counselor can say, hey, as a ninth grader, and you want to be a future engineer, here's the track you need to be on. Here are the classes you need to take. What I would like to do is, through platforms like yours, is let's fill the role of the guidance counselors for those schools that don't have all of the resources. Let's be that resource. Let's fill in. Let's get kids hooked up with the college application. I got to think of the name of it. In fact, I'll provide you guys some information that you can get out to your viewers on how to start preparing for college. What do you need to be registered in? What databases do you need to be in as a freshman to get ready for college before your recruiting process even starts? So let's work on doing that. We'll use
this is, remember when we were talking at the beginning of the show, right? Mm-hmm. And I told you we got some interesting stuff that we want you to be a part of. Your network is, you know what I'm saying, huge. We can use you right now. We're formulating the plan, and we're gonna keep it under wraps. It's coming in August. It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those football, you know what I'm saying, big man's like drops, because it's one of those deals where we're gonna have an all-inclusive one hub where people come. They can get this information. They can get in contact with people, you know what I'm saying, of your statue, you know what I'm saying, but also get the X's and O's to the blueprint of, you know what I'm saying, what we got going on. So me and Coach Patterson, Triple B are working in the background. So we definitely gonna need you on this.
Yeah, we definitely gonna need, you know, we're gonna need some of those connections to the engineering firms and the construction companies. Because, you know, in a couple of years when we get big, we're gonna need some sponsors. You already know what it is.
And we're gonna need our building set up.
I can tell you bigger than sponsorship. What the networking with companies like mine will do is provide internships for kids that might not know what they want to do.
Listen, man, I'm ready to come coach with this dude right here, man.
Come on, man.
I'm ready to come coach
job,
with you,
man.
Internships.
You just got a job.
Nothing like on-the-job training. Nothing like on-the-job training.
Yeah. I just love it, man. And I'm a fierce competitor. You got to be a competitor even in business.
Right.
So I deal with adversity well, and I teach kids how to deal with adversity. The referee example, that's adversity. A foul in basketball is adversity. A quarterback that throws 2 interceptions in the first quarter, that's adversity. How do you deal with it, though? You know, so we could teach these kids young how to deal with adversity. By the time they get to our age, you know, they're very productive citizens, and they can show the next person how to deal with adversity. But I can't wait, man. I love this platform. But I would like to introduce internships. I would like to introduce some types of mentorships. You guys got a great platform.
Right. We got you. Definitely. I'm so glad, you know what I'm saying, we got you on here. But this is now, you know, we got all the good stuff out the way, the good informative stuff, you know. But
hold on, Drew. I want to ask him one more question.
Go right ahead, because I'm finna get into this.
So internships,
Yes,
why internships? Why are internships important?
So I benefited from an internship. I was part of a program in high school called Inroads, INROADS, Inroads. That was in Alabama. I'm sure that Florida and other states have something similar. They taught us business etiquette. So we even learned how to eat properly at a dinner table. We got a chance to go and work with companies that might be in a field we were interested in. My mentor was a civil engineer. So by the time I enrolled at Florida State, I knew I wanted to be a civil engineer because I really liked what he did and I thought I could do it. And he was making money doing it. So that, but I've seen it work on the flip side. Some people have gone on an internship. They thought they wanted to be something.
Mm-hmm.
After they experienced it for a couple of weeks, they said, "Oh no, I don't
Right.
I'm out of here. Let me go and find something else to do that I have more of a passion for." So,
hey, you know what? I mean, the internship thing, that is it's a critical thing. I'll even use an example, hip hop, right? If you think in the last 30 years, who's the biggest impact on hip hop? I'll use one, and that was Puff Daddy or P. Diddy. I don't know how many times he changed his name. What did he start out as?
An intern.
Yeah.
An intern.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them, some of them start off as a hype man. You know what I'm saying? When you are on the job training, basically, you know what I'm saying? Those skills that you soak up it's life changing sometimes, because it opens you up to a whole different world. It's like, especially if you're really soaking up the game, that you're getting when you're being an intern. So,
but I told Triple Black what it'll do as well, because my oldest daughter, she wanted to be a veterinarian, so I hooked up with an internship. She found out she didn't like animals; she just liked the dogs.
Right.
so
yeah,
10 years,
you know what?
Years,
that might be
10 years.
That's the thing. It's just like that might be a reality check too, because you know what I'm saying, you might see something, a career that you think, oh man, I could do that, I want to do that, and then you actually get in that, and you be like, well, man, you know what? I don't think I can really do this. Or you might find something else that you can perfect, that you're good at. You know what I'm saying? It might not be that particular thing, but it could be something else. It might not be an engine. Like, for instance, if you have an intern in engineering, I'm sure there's drafters. There's somebody might have a mouthpiece. They might be better at project management. They might be better at being in sales. But it gives them an opportunity to kind of look at the business. All
right, so we're gonna get into these meat and potatoes after we pay these bills. So we gotta make sure we shout out to our sponsor.
Let's Talk About It is sponsored by Hard Hat Construction, where we build dreams with trust and quality work. Contact Jamie Allen at 239-648-5867, where you dream big and we grind harder.
Right now we had to pay the bill, so shout out to Jamie Allen, Hard Hat Construction for being one of our sponsors of this show. Now let's get into meat and potatoes. Me and you talk, and you have a history of family, yourself, graduated from HBCUs. Why didn't your son get any, did he get any HBCU offers or anything like that?
So the recruiting process is a strange process, and it has its ups and it has its downs. The downside of the recruiting process, I have my master's from FAMU. My mother graduated from Miles College in Birmingham. I have family members that have graduated from Alabama State, A&M, Jackson State, Tuskegee. You name it, we've got it covered. So one of the first schools I targeted for my son's football career was HBCUs. And I would personally send emails to the head coaches, the recruiting coordinator, and the position coach. And I would send my son's huddle highlight film. I didn't receive one single response from those schools. And I would even personalize the email. Mm-hmm. For example, Miles College, I let them know that, hey, my mother's an alumni of your school. She lives there. We would love to be back at home. And not a response. And it is shocking to me that now he's going to Brown University, Division I, Ivy League, and I can't get a call or an email back from an HBCU. That was very disappointing in the recruiting process.
So why? I'm trying to figure out why. Do you think, COVID, do you think because of, they don't have the resources? Coach Mike, shake your head. What's that? Talk to me, Coach Mike.
It ain't that, man. It go back to the networking. My uncle used to be the sports information director at Miles, and for years I tried to get kids in there. When he went to Fort Valley, their coaches were open to accepting kids. And so when I was at Thomas County Central, I was able to get kids into Fort Valley. But at Miles, they didn't know any of the kids that or any of the parents that I was trying to get into the school. So they didn't take any.
So so basically you saying they trying to build a tradition of, family-based alum kids to come through. And I know your son's alum, but how you gonna build a program if you don't let just, other kids come in that? Because like if you like me, you're a first-time college kid, like of your family, how do you? I don't know. That ain't got.
No, it's
not good business market.
But you got to understand, it's. I think it's like business. You got to almost have a gatekeeper.
Right.
A lot of times, there's a gatekeeper that's probably from your network or from your school or somebody you play ball with, that will open up that pipeline. And a lot of times it goes on deaf ears. Like, we have, at Naples, I know there's a lot of gatekeepers that were from that program that are at other schools. That's why you see, a pipeline. You see a straight pipeline. You see a lot of the same kids going to the same school because that, maybe, the head of recruiting or a recruiter might be the gatekeeper to that scholarship. And once that's open, I mean, the pipeline is open. You know what I'm saying? And Georgia Military College, right? You went there. I'm sure there was a gatekeeper. You probably don't even know that maybe your coach knew that opened up that. What was the reason that you were able to get into that? Did you ever do some research?
I know exactly why. It was because Coach Dixon had a relationship with the offensive coordinator, Jeff Tatum. Jeff Tatum gave me a scholarship without looking at any film because he knew of Dixon. And then the funny thing is, you're talking about pipelines. GMC had a pipeline in Appalachian State. Like, I went on different visits, because once I got hurt, the end of my sophomore year, like between the 6th game, it was like all Division I schools were off the table. It was all just Division I AA. And I had some HBCUs, and one of them that wanted me, like 3 of them that wanted me real bad was Bethune, FAM, and South Carolina State. But their offense just didn't work for me. Like, I came out of offense where, they ran a wing T, and I knew what that consisted of. I'm getting the ball 2 times a game. I can't make it to the league catching the ball 2 times a game. And then App say, listen, well, we got 60 balls to replace. That's where I need to be, coach. So, they stroked my ego a little better at App with the offense. So that's where I went. But you don't have any relationships with any coaches that's inside of HBCU?
No, I do not. And the thing is, though, I because of my FAMU ties and all of my family with HBCUs, I follow HBCUs. Right. I hear their struggles, but here I am offering you a top athlete, high academic kid, and it falls on deaf ears. I don't understand how you're going to improve your situation if you won't even give a person like me and my son a chance.
Right. That comes from a great family, and probably it'd be a strong, sponsor, networker for the school. How do we fix a situation like that? Like, do we, or do we just, because right now we're having a shift, when and the shift is, take your kids to where, it looks like us, but at the same time, if it looks like us, don't accept us, we got a problem.
Big problem.
And then another thing too is, at the end of the day, you feel me? HBCUs, universities, junior college prep schools, this is what people, and I truly believe, this is what people need to do. They need to find out what's best for their child. Because my uncle told me, he knew at the time, when this was the only advice I had when I went from GMC to App. You know what they all, a lot of partying going on at those schools, and he gave me a bad rep right off glasses. A lot of parties going on at those schools, and you close to home. Go far away from home. So that's why I made my decision to go to Boone. Another reason why I made my decision to go to Boone. But why, like right now, Jackson State. Deion Sanders is hot on fire. It seems like, do you put yourself in his shoes and his staff in his shoes? Right now, he is the hottest HBCU going on. Everybody wants to get in there because has Deion been down? Like Jackson State been down in 239. We got Richard Young, we got Sean Russ, we got Darryl Rowe, we got, you know what I'm saying, Barry White. We got all these kids that's very talented. Has Prime been here, Coach Patterson?
Well, he was here a couple years ago, before it got started. Now I do know he has offered a couple kids, athletes from the area. I do know that.
Okay, shout out to Prime. You know what I'm saying?
He offered Richard Young.
Smart.
He did.
Smart.
He offered Richard Young early in the process.
And then it's one of those things. So now let's do this, Coach. Do you think your son was too high of a profile of a player for HBCU? Because now, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, until the HBCUs step up their media game and step up, you know what I'm saying, their marketing game, they can't compete with the NCAA. You know, when it comes to, you know, like, I ain't say NCAA, but the regular universities. Because
technology.
Richard Young, that kid, if he chooses an HBCU, a kid like Sean Russ, if they choose an HBCU, they got a golden chip. And it's like they got Alabama offers. They got Ohio State, Notre Dame. What do they do?
Well, I don't think my son was too high for the HBCUs because he didn't have any offers.
Right.
Going into his senior year, he has no stars and no offers. So that means you're nobody in the sports world. Yeah. And they tell you if you don't have some stars by your name and no offers, then you're really not that good.
When did this star thing come about any damn way? Excuse my language.
You know, nobody wants to talk about it. And you might have to pick another segment to talk about it, but it's about money. If you're willing to pay for all the camps that they want you to spend the money on, they'll give your kid a couple stars. We didn't do any camps. So my son didn't have any stars, but now he's playing Division I football for an Ivy League school. And so back to what the question, no, he wasn't too high for HBCU because he has no stars and no offers going into his senior year. So I felt like, you know, they should have at least gave him a look.
Right.
And by the end of the senior year, as a defensive back with 91 tackles, 6 interceptions, and like 3 pick sixes and some other touchdowns.
Hold on, this in 1 year?
1 year, 91 tackles last year.
And he a DB tackling?
Yeah. and guarded some of the best people in our area up here in the Hillsborough counties, Sarasota, Manatee area. Our last 3 schools we picked from was Brown, Dartmouth, and Navy. So we go from 0 stars and 0 offers.
We ain't gonna even talk about 0. We're gonna say 0 stars to 6 figures when they graduate. That's all we gonna say. Because all 3 of those schools, you graduate from there 6 figures.
Yes, sir.
And do you think that your son might have been typecast in a way? Like, you know, sometimes like those coaches talk to you, be like, hey, you know, this guy right here, very smart, you know, straight A student, AP course, you know, all the, you know, he's got Brown already on him. Do you think like sometimes when you get that story, like some recruiters get that story, they kind of almost back off, people like, well, you know, this, I mean, because the thing is, he might just be the smart kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The smart kid. You know, when you're the smart kid, you get typecast in, well, you know, he may not be as athletic as everybody else because he's so smart. Like his brain overrides everything else. He's a smart player. Maybe not, you know, not all, you know, not fast, not, you know, strong or whatever, but he's very smart. Do you think that your son might have had that, you know, that smart labeled on him?
Yes, that could have happened. Unfortunately, that starts early on where we start saying that the dumb athletes, you know, and to be the top athlete, you can't be the valedictorian.
Right.
I don't understand why not.
Right.
So I taught him to be the best on the field and off the field. I wanted him to be the best on the football field, but also wanted him to strive toward being valedictorian. So, but I do agree. Some people feel like smart kids can't play as good as the kid that barely getting through school.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
And let me say this also, and this is something that people don't talk about either. It's the whole cultural aspect of it. You know what? If this kid comes from a good family, you know, he's smart, and will he fit in? You know, will he fit into, you know, the culture of our school? And that's another thing that might, you know, throw recruiters off too.
And this is another thing I wanted to say. They probably shut up and said, "Oh, this is valedictorian. He ain't gonna be too serious about football."
But here's another way. But what about this, guys? What about if you're a coach and you have a limited amount of athletics?
That's what I've been waiting on.
Yeah.
Don't you want an academic kid? That way you don't have to waste your athletic scholarship. You can just say, okay, kid, you could come and play football here, and academics will pay for you.
Right.
That should be an incentive.
Coach, I don't think they thinking like that.
Yeah.
You know, I know they're not thinking like that, where we can improve our entire program by bringing this kid in, because he's going to help us in more ways than one.
That's right. And he didn't cost you a scholarship. Academics paying for it.
Because I'm gonna tell you, a kid like that, and I've been around them, especially from the school that I previous coached at. Those kids become coaches inside the locker room, and those are the kids that, you know, are so smart that they catch on quick, and you don't have to, you know what I'm saying, hold their hand as, you know what I'm saying, as much. They pick up and they do the extra when you ask for, you know, get into your playbook, because now you're going from some basic stuff when you come from high school to college, and the terminology is different. And a reason why a lot of kids don't make it, a lot of kids, they want to sugarcoat, we finna give you something real. They don't make it in football programs is because they don't understand how football works. They don't understand the basic fundamentals of a 3-4 or 4-3 defense. They're just taught to fly around, and then they get picked up by these colleges because they got the right size, they got the right dynamics, but they don't have the right thinking cap. And you see these kids being shuffled from here to there to there to here because the systems are too complex. And they don't understand that the game is 85% mental, 15% physical. They said that on Little Giants. I love that movie to death. Why won't y'all pay attention?
And I got one more question for Charles.
Yes, sir.
And do you think also, you know, far as the scholarships offers, that, you know, your success as a business person might have also played a role in it? Because I remember there was what was it? A long time ago, I remember Lil Romeo got like a scholarship, or he was supposed to get a school full ride to USC, right? And then everybody was like, oh, you know, why they giving him a full ride? His dad is Master P. He can pay for it. You know, he got a successful business and all that type of stuff. Do you know, knowing your background, because you were very heavily and probably involved in your son's recruiting process, do you think that might have almost been like, hey, you know, they were kind of waiting for you to be like, hey, you know what, we'll accept the preferred walk-on, you know, because I can pay for it, I'm successful? Do you think he
already had the academic scholarship, so it didn't matter. You know, he put that in the email, so they seen that.
I'm not talking about before he committed to Brown. Did you experience any of that? Like, your success kind of.
Well, no. Nobody was interested. No stars, no offers.
Right.
And you would have thought that, I'm gonna use Miles College, for example. If I send them an email from my asset engineering email account, that lets them know that, yes, I am the president of this engineering firm. So the video you're watching of Isaiah Reed is probably my son, since I'm Charles Reed. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that should have enticed them to reach out to me, because maybe I can be a potential donor to your school. But obviously it didn't entice them at all, because nobody reached back out to me.
So now let's curve this a little.
That's crazy though. That's crazy.
But yet they say they want big donors like the schools like Brown, who's got people that probably donate millions back every year. Right. If you want that, you need to look for a certain type then. And I thought I would have fit that type, but it didn't work out.
It's all good. God got something else planned for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you just came on the podcast, and we got something where they help all these kids. You feel what I'm saying? And we ain't got to worry about all them people with all that foolishness. But, you know, when you sat up here, how did you get those 3 offers from Navy, Dartmouth, and Brown? How did you get those?
I emailed those coaches, and I would email them directly, the head coach, the recruiting coordinator, and the position coaches. And I would send his huddle film, his course schedule, his transcripts. Those are the documents that I would send from my email to those coaches at those staffs. I also had some help, again, sports networks. One of my buddies, Church, played at the University of Florida with an assistant coach. Yep, Johnny Church.
Yeah.
Played with an assistant coach at Dartmouth. And so he told the Dartmouth coach, hey, man, I got a kid here y'all need to look at. So, again, sports can be used, and it can be used to your advantage. So Dartmouth reaches out because of Johnny Church's recommendation, because of his playing days at University of Florida. Mm-hmm. So then Navy reaches out because they were recruiting. We already have a recruit there from Cessna Christian. So now they're looking. Now the pipeline starts to Navy from Cessna Christian. Right. We have a kid there now playing quarterback. We have a kid going there for D tackle. So again, it's the networking, the sports networking. And then our coaching staff at Cessna, they're very active in sending out all of our kids' films all over the place. So we might have sent that film out 200 times just to get 10 hits.
You heard what I said, parents. 200 times just to get 10 hits. Mm-hmm. Transcripts, huddle film.
And course schedule.
Course schedule. So these people know, so they're not sitting up here wasting their time. So when they pull up this is a presentation of your child. When you email the coaches, email the head coach, the position coach, and the recruiting coordinator. Yes. Presentation of your child. Do not put stuff on there that you wouldn't put on a business resume. It is your child's resume, and make sure it's impeccable. So these coaches can look at it. You heard what Coach just said. He sent out 200 emails and got 10 hits. 10 hits. You feel me? So you got to do your due diligence, and you got to understand these coaches have a lot of stuff going on themselves. They're going to help, but you have to help the kid.
Yeah, and also write down a lot of different skills or something that's unique about your child, or especially in the recruiting process, and also know who, if you have a target, know who's in administration, because that can make anything. It can make all the difference in the world. You know, people who control the scholarships, the funding, and stuff like that, because they're on annual budgets. And they always want to give out money. They don't want to have any leftover money. That's the thing. If you know what budgeting is, like say for instance, you have $1 million in scholarship, and every year you're getting earmarked for that. You want to use it all up, because if you don't use it the next year, the budget is going to be lower, so you lose that money. So if they all have extra money, they're always trying to give it out, and the more information that you can give out to them. I remember when I went to to one school, they gave me a scholarship just for, I forgot what scholarship it was. It was just extra money that they had laying around, and they wanted to, give it to, to fill the budget up, because if you don't use it, you lose it, especially state schools or, private institutions and stuff like that. So know your research. Anything, if you're a quarter Indian or whatever, use that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm telling you, if you have, this religious, use everything at your disposal.
Right. And then also, I'm going to add this right here. People forget about the military. Like, they're giving away money like it's going out of style, and people are not tapping into those roots.
Right.
Yeah. And you don't have to go into the military after you get finished.
And do they have a military, I guess, veteran, like children or survivor benefits or children of the military, scholarships or anything like that are exclusive to some schools?
Yes, some schools are, like Columbus State. My daughter, I took her there, and I thought she was going there, and the guy told her, "Well, you can leave here with $100,000 in your pocket."
So
and for me, it was a done deal.
You know what you need to do, right, Coach Patterson, right?
It was a done deal. But she wanted to go to a HBCU. Everybody, I'm the only one. Me and my cousin Coach Fane, we the only one in the family that did not graduate from a HBCU. So she wanted to go, and Albany State gave her a really good package.
Well, this is what you need to do since you got, that podcast dealing with, creme de la creme. You need to get on that, what you can do for them veterans, man, to get these kids in this school, man. That's a gem right there you can drop on them, baby. You feel me? You can get it to them. Yeah, because these kids need this education, because the education is the key. Don't play with it. You be around here, with a bad back like you right now.
I got one more thing.
We need to open up. Yeah, we definitely need to open up those pipelines, man, because your kid could be the person that opens up the pipeline. You never know. That's the thing. It's like, you could be setting somebody up, 10 years from now just from your success. You got to look at it from that perspective, and then when they see you're successful, because a lot of eyes are on that, you can motivate a lot of people to reach higher heights, just by your success.
Yeah, go ahead, Coach Charles.
One thing I wanted to add for all the parents and anyone in the recruiting process, the athletes, if there's a school recruiting you and you're not interested in going there, don't insult them. This is a small community. And if you insult one coach at a small school, that coach knows other coaches at other schools. So all of a sudden, you think you just rejected one school, but you really just got the door closed on you on 10 or 20 schools.
Exactly.
So we made sure we treated every school that called us, emailed us. We treated them all with the utmost respect, and we gave them all very careful consideration. We did not insult any school just because it was a small school.
Don't burn any bridges. I learned that. Don't burn no bridges, because I had to use a bridge that I didn't burn when I went to a school and I found out I need to get up out of here. I need to get up out of here. And I had to build a relationship with the recruiter so well that I made a phone call. And he was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put it in motion. Let's go. You gotta be able to do that. You gotta be it's very important to do not burn any bridges. If anything, even if you reject them, follow up with them. Tell them thank you for the opportunity.
Yes,
they'll remember that.
Yeah, like we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Coach Mike, I need that send us off saying, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. What you got for us today, Coach Mike?
All right, so I'm gonna piggyback off Coach Charles with the they sent out the film 200 times, emailed 200 times to get 10 offers. We call that getting the butter from the duck. Back when I was in the military, and you hear an NCO say, we got to go get the butter from the duck today, that means we putting in work, or we putting in work, W-E-R-K, we putting in work. and that's what Coach Charles did, man. They put in some work, W-E-R-K, and they got the butter from the duck. And my man,
chase possums and coons, man.
Hey, man, my man going to Brown University. Coach Charles, man, hey, I'm telling you, man, like, you just don't know how excited I am for you to be on this podcast, man. Like, minds.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Work.
Thank you for being
here. What did he say, Johnson?
Work. Hey, Coach Pete, man, you still living in the month of February? With those flowers back? You still living in the month of February, though, with the roses back there, man?
Hey, Coach Charles, man, let everybody know, you know what I'm saying, if they're looking for an engineering project or anything that, you do, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me at www.asseteng.com. Asset is ASSET. Asset engineering is named my engineering business. We do engineering. We have government contracts. We also do construction. We partner with your sponsor, Hard Hats Construction. Those are one of our partners in the construction world. And again, like I say, this summer we're going to be looking at internships and trying to educate people on engineering, construction, and the recruiting process.
Okay. So that's definitely, we'll be making sure we, Monday, me and you'll be on the phone, plug
yes, sir.
And getting so we can get this.
I need to, get his email because he said government contract, and I need to learn the bidding process. So you definitely get an email from me.
Network, man.
So, yes, that's networking right there with sports.
Yeah. Right. You see my nephews, they tall, but listen, they might want to go into engineering, so they will be one of them in your internship. So if they don't like it, they'll figure it out at the end of the summer because they're gonna be up in there like this right here, trying to figure it out. You hear me?
Yes,
but man, appreciate you coming in, man. We definitely, this is not gonna be the last time you're on the show because we got to get into some of the stuff that you do that you can benefit our parents for. This one was just kind of one of those shows where we want to talk about the education purpose of, athletics. And you brought that to the table, and your son, man, listen, all I need to tell him, listen, bro, I need a shirt. I can pay for my own ticket. I don't need nothing but a shirt. That's it. Because when I come to the game, I just want to be like this right here with Brown. You know what I'm saying? Just, because my network, I let them know my network, stems over here.
Right. Yes, sir. All of our networks just grew with him at Brown.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
So everybody tuned in, man. Appreciate y'all, boys. Listen, everybody, man, make sure you like, share. You know what I'm saying? There might be a kid out there, a parent that needs this information. Thank you. Once again, we out.
Have you ever feeling rejected, neglected, or even dyslexic? Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Wisdom, knowledge, and guidance, we all seeking to find them. Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Adversity a part of life, sometimes we fail before we get it right. Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No one is above the other. As brothers, we must uplift each other. Q&A, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah.